Cinderella season alive? We'll find out tonight as we bring you Gannon Basketball, live here on Jet TV from Springfield. We are live from the birthplace of basketball, Springfield, Massachusetts, set to bring you tonight's NCAA National Quarterfinal matchup in Division II as the Gannon Golden Knights take on the Tigers of Morehouse College from Atlanta, Georgia. Good evening, everybody. I'm John Evans along with Brian Duffy. And Brian, what can we expect from Morehouse State tonight?
Well, the first thing that jumps out at you with Morehouse, they score 94 points a game. So obviously they're pushing the ball up and down the floor. But another thing, we watched them in the pregame warm-ups, and they would be very patient in the half-court game. Two players to watch for. Harold Ellis gets about 24 points a game. The key to this team, though, might be James Walker. He's a point guard, 15 points, 6 assists, and 3 steals a game.
The Knights have enjoyed a week off after winning the East Regional at the Hammer Mill Center. How do they shape up and stack up against this team from Atlanta?
Well, we've talked all in the postseason about the pace of the basketball game, and that's going to be real important again tonight. They get 94 a game. Gannon gets around 60, so something's got to give.
We've got probably about 1,000 Gannon fans here, and you're going to see a lot of these tonight. These are Gannon hankies that the people in the stands are going to be waving tonight as they cheer on their Golden Knights. We'll be back with the starting lineups from Springfield after we take this timeout. We're set for tonight's matchup. The Gannon Knights coming in with a record of 24-7, with Morehouse overall 25-5. Morehouse got here by defeating Virginia Union and then Florida Tech in the South Atlantic region. The Golden Knights coming up with victories over C.W. Post and East Stroudsburg. It's time now to turn it over to the public address announcer. He has tonight's starting lineups.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Civic Center, Springfield, Massachusetts, for basketball. This is the last game of the quarterfinal round for the National Collegiate Athletic Association Division II National Championship. Our final game this evening features the Tigers of Morehouse College from Atlanta, Georgia. Their opponents are the Golden Knights of Gannon.
Tonight, the Gannon Golden Knights and the Morehouse Tigers each team looking to advance to the national semifinals for Division II. The winner of this game will take on Cal State Bakersfield tomorrow night. And confusion there at the opening tip. They're going to throw it up again. Cal State Bakersfield, an 87-72 winner over Bridgeport in the game just ending. The ball comes right to us here at the broadcast table. What a way to start the game. We got ourselves on TV right away, Brian.
Well, the two guys to watch for are the guy with the ball. Well, he just passed it off. This guy, James Walker, number 12. He's the guy that makes this team go. And number 30, Harold Ellis, who they just throw the alley-oop and get the bucket to.
Harold Ellis, the 6'5 sophomore from Atlanta, gives Morehouse the early 2-0 lead over the Gannon Knights. Just underway from the Springfield Civic Center. Darrell Freeman has the ball. He had the outstanding weekend last weekend, the tournament MVP in the East Regional. Callahan gets it. Here's Andy Adams. Told me last night that his ankle feels much better after the injury a couple of weeks back. Freeman spinning. Man-to-man defense applied by Morehouse. Freeman gets the ball, makes the shot. But they call it for traveling. That will not count.
Little stutter step by Freeman. Impressed by Morehouse's defense on that first series. They're really denying the ball on the wings, and that's playing havoc with Gannon's offense. Gannon's going to have to come up and set some back picks, cut to the basket hard to try and deny those type of defensive tactics.
Here come the Tigers of Morehouse College. Long shot there by Lawrence Lewis. No good. Controlled by Gannon. Up court quickly. Here's Freeman. He's going in again. Another shot. And it's off the front of the rim. Rebound by Watkins. And he is called for a foul. It'll be Mike Snyder, I believe, with the foul there. Mike Snyder, that's the first team foul. 2-0 Morehouse in front early on. Proud to bring you this game tonight exclusively on Jet TV.
Gannon sitting back in their 3-2 or 1-2-2 zone. They're going to keep it packed in, and they're going to watch for Ellis at all times. Ellis will come up to around the foul line at times. If he gets the ball there, they're going to collapse 3 people on him.
Walker gives it to Ellis, and he's called for the travel.
Case of the nerves early on, I think, for both teams. You got Ellis and Freeman, the respective teams' 2 best players, both called with traveling within the first minute and a half of the ball game.
Brian, you play basketball at the college Division II level. What kind of pressure is on a young man to be in a game like this, a national quarterfinal?
Well, unfortunately, I never played in a national quarterfinal.
Ellis with the slam. Harold Ellis. He's only a sophomore, folks.
There are some nerves, though, in this type of game. I played in the Pennsylvania State Athletic Conference Championship game, and it's tough getting yourself focused when there's so much pressure in the game.
Holland, 2-point attempt, no good. Controlled by big Stuart Watkins, 6'8 sophomore. Here comes Morehouse. Walker over to Winfrey.
Again, it's got to be careful here. They're down 4-zip early. They haven't got a bucket yet, and it might start working on their minds a little bit. They might start saying to themselves, hey, wait a minute, we got to keep in this game because if we get too far behind, that's not the type of ball game we want to be in.
Morehouse College doesn't have a lot of big people. They rely on speed, team quickness, and also the scoring of Harold Ellis. And this guy, James Walker, he is the team captain, and he gives Morehouse a quick 6-0 lead over the Gannon Knights.
Walker's the guy I really like. He seems to do just a little bit of everything. 15 points is a lot of game, but the guy gets 6 assists and 3 steals, so he does a lot more than just run the team and score.
Here's Mike Snyder, turns around. Shot no good. Controlled by Morehouse. Here comes Walker up quickly. Pass to Ellis. Underneath. He gets it to Lewis. And he's fouled. Boy, an early quick start for the Tigers.
Gannon needs a timeout before this thing gets any worse.
And they take the timeout. They will take a timeout here on TV 24. Back after this break.
Opportunity. They've got the numbers. Morehouse does on the break. And here comes Snyder from behind. Comes in with the foul, and he hammers Lawrence Lewis. He gets the deuce, and he's going to the line.
And he makes the foul shot. Mike Snyder with 2 quick fouls. And the Knights trail quickly, 9-0. Bob Duquette called the timeout, hoping to get the team settled down here, as this is not the way they wanted to make their debut in the quarterfinals in Springfield.
Well, they made some changes. They got Big Daddy in for Snyder, and they got Crawford in for Holland early on, trying to generate some type of offense.
Here's Crawford, and Dave Callahan gives it to Andy Adams. Adams, jump shot from the foul line, off the mark, but Big Daddy Henderson grabs it. Talked to Bob Duquette this afternoon. He wasn't sure if Morehouse would try to make the tempo quicker than they'd like. Morehouse averages about 90 points a game. That's definitely not what Gannon wants. Shot by Callahan now is off the front of the rim. Freeman? How many shots are they going to get?
Well, the only thing they're doing right is they're staying with it and they're staying on the offensive boards. And when you do that, you're going to keep getting opportunities, and he walked. So they're not going to count that bucket. If you want to look for a silver lining in this whole thing, Gannon's going to the offensive boards real well, and they're getting second, third, and fourth opportunities. They just can't get anything to drop.
Coach Art McAfee. There's Coach Bob Duquette of the Gannon Golden Knights. His first season after coming from Marquette University last year. Just done an outstanding job with his team. Long shot by Walker. Three-point land. Air ball. Crawford sends it in to Callahan. A little confusion, but he gets the handle. Heads up court. Walker, a tough defensive player all over David, but he gets free. Ellis grabs the ball. We've got a foul called on Dave Callahan. He knows that that was not a smart foul.
Well, what happened was it was the pressure. Everyone ran away from the ball, and Callahan stuck with the ball down underneath Morehouse's hoop with 3 people to beat, and that's tough to do. You got to get some help, and nobody came back to get the ball, and that caused the turnover.
As I mentioned before, Morehouse with an average of over 90 points a game. Bob Duquette does not like to go up against a team of that high-powered offense. Definitely expected to slow the tempo down in this one, and I'm sure we'll see that later on.
Well, it gets harder and harder to slow the tempo down the more you get behind. When you're down by 9 points, you can't be sitting around slowing the game down. You've got to score some points to get on the board. I mean, we've almost played 5 minutes. Gannon doesn't have the bucket yet, and they've got 14 fouls to none for Morehouse. So that's going to put Morehouse on the line here in 3 more fouls. Gannon's nowhere near even getting on the line.
9-0, the early lead for Morehouse. Here's Walker. He's passing it over to Winfrey. Shot no good. Controlled by Stubbs. He makes the layup. Richards make that Roderick Stubbs, the 6'6 sophomore. And now it's an 11-0 lead.
Freeman's got to keep the ball. He's got to do something himself and get 2 points and get Gannon going here. A big play by Freeman might be all that they need. He's got to do something with it.
Freeman. Freelance work. We got the foul.
They got Freeman on the charge. He went in and was out of control a little bit and threw it up. But that's what Freeman's got to do. He's the biggest offensive threat Gannon's got. And we'll take another look at it. Freeman does make the nice move on the baseline, but he's a little out of control here, and he's in bad position because he's behind the backboard, and he's got to come up with the left hand and sort of flip it up towards the hoop. Not something he'd like to do.
Stubbs had the position and draws the charge. 14:50 left in the first half. Glad you could join us tonight from Springfield. Long shot from Harold Ellis. That one's no good.
He's not a real good three-point shooter. He's only fired it up about 30 times from three-point range, and I think he's made 4, so they don't really look for him to do that. Does everything else, though.
Quite an athlete, for sure, and quite a student, they tell us as well. Here's Andy Adams, driving. Shot no good. Rejected by Stuart Watkins. Up quickly. Winfrey. Over to the floor general, James Walker.
You know, the worst part about this whole thing is not the fact that Gannon's even down by 11 points. The worst part about it is what's it doing to their confidence. Here they are in Springfield in the Final 8, and they're saying, geez, are we completely out of our league?
Watkins spins, makes the shot. Ellis went down hard, but he appears to be okay. We'll take another look at this one, Brian.
Well, what happens here is they're going to get the bucket, and then when we watch the replay, we're going to see the elbow by Big Daddy. They get the bucket here, so it's 2 points and it counts. And Big Daddy knocks Ellis down to the ground, and they get the ball back again.
We've got a timeout on the floor. 14:05 left in the first half. 13-0 lead for Morehouse College. From Massachusetts, NCAA quarterfinals for Division II. Morehouse College with a big lead. And here is Harold Ellis, shot off the back of the rim, and Andy Adams loses the handle. The Tigers get it back.
Well, things start going bad. They just keep going bad, and they're going to get worse unless Gannon can get a bucket just to get the confidence factor up.
Walker, quick shot. It's a three-pointer, and it's a 16-0 lead. The Gannon Knights 0 for 7 in field goals. A rough start for Bob Duquette and company tonight.
It's getting to the point now where Gannon is in danger of being blown right out of here early on unless something drastic happens real quick. And Freeman's going to have to take things into his own hands, I think.
Ellis went down hard again, got back up. Here comes Crawford inside to Freeman, off the underneath of the board, and another turnover.
Well, Freeman shoots the shot. He just lost control of the ball and hits the bottom of the backboard.
Freeman. Guarded closely there by Winfrey.
pressing. I keep saying Darryl Freeman's got to do something to get Gannon off this whatever type of streak we're on. They haven't scored in nearly 7 minutes. But see, he might be pressing a little bit, and when he presses, when anybody presses, you're not very effective.
We've got probably about 1,000 fans from Erie here in the Civic Center tonight. They are very quiet. By far the largest delegation of any of the teams in the Final 8 that we've seen here all day long. But they haven't had a whole lot to cheer about, that's for sure. There's the shot by Stubbs, and it's good. 18-0 the lead now for the Tigers of Morehouse College. Boy, oh boy, we sure didn't expect to see this, Brian.
No, I really didn't. I watched Morehouse in their shoot-arounds, and they look good. They've got good athletes. And get in.
Ellis went down again. The shot falls in. Mike Crawford, the Knights finally on the board here. The Knights are now 1 for 10. What a cold shooting streak to start things out here. Walker to Ellis. As the Tigers are playing their kind of game tonight. Long shot by Walker, and it's good for a three-pointer.
Three-pointer by James Walker.
They're going to have to do something to get on Walker. He's the one killing him. We mentioned that at the top of the program that Ellis and Walker are the two main guns, and right now Walker is really just destroying Gannon.
Walker with 8 points. Here's Crawford responding with a shot. Crawford with 2 quick baskets. Knights trail 21-4.
They throw Walker 8-4. And there he goes again. They got to get somebody out there.
Walker's shot doesn't fall this time. Andy Adams with the board. The speculation going in was that Gannon had to be pretty much considered a favorite because of past playoff experience. Granted, these players hadn't been on the championship teams before, but the program has enjoyed lots of playoff success. This is the first time ever in the playoffs for Morehouse College, and they really didn't know what to expect coming up here from the coaching staff or the players.
Well, they're not, obviously they didn't have any problem handling any type of pressure because they jumped out to a big, huge lead, and they're still holding it.
And we've got a foul on Harold Ellis by Crawford. He is going to...
Well, we played 9 minutes, and that's the first team foul on Morehouse. Yeah, that's hard to believe. I'm certainly not saying the referees are doing anything that's causing Gannon any problems, but 9 minutes and 1 team foul, and that's also a tough situation. That's going to make a comeback even more tough.
Just looking up at the board, Gannon with 16 fouls already to the 1 for the Tigers. Crawford now thinks about the shot, thinks about getting it inside, and he does. Andy Adams doesn't convert. Snyder hits it out, and it'll be Morehouse ball. We had a long chat with Art McAfee, the head coach of Morehouse College, a true gentleman. He's been there for 24 years at that institution, over 350 victories, and it's been a long time coming for him here to get to Springfield.
Well, here's the first change. Now Gannon's been sitting in that zone all the time, but they're trailing by 17 points, so they're forced to come out of the zone and play the man-to-man. For one reason, they can't leave Walker as wide open as he has been. Walker on the bench at the moment now, but Gannon's still got to come out in the man-to-man and try and make some steals and try and get Morehouse out of the offensive flow that they were in.
Morehouse shot is up by Lewis. Doesn't go. Callahan comes down. Got a few new players in. David Dutta and Corey Bonds for the Tigers at this point. Crawford's shot's good. 2-pointer.
Well, Crawford seems like the only one not being hurt by this little slump by Gannon. He's got all 6.
Well, if they can just get on fire with a few 3-pointers, they might be able to get back into this before halftime and make it at least a respectable showing in the first half.
Yeah, they're down 15 now, and if they can get it under 10 by half, it's certainly going to be a ball game.
Mike Snyder controlled the rebound. Now Gannon tries to come up and get on a little bit of a mini run here. Callahan guarded closely by Hazard. Here's Holland. Spinning, shooting. Shot goes, and he's fouled. We're going to call that on Corey Bonds, the freshman.
Nice job by Holland holding up the shot. He knew he was going to get fouled. We're going to take another look at it. Watch Holland posting up. You don't see that very often anyway. Holland feeling he might have a little advantage here. Watch him hold up his shot until he gets the foul. Right there, he knows he's got the foul, and then he puts it up, gets the nice little shooter's roll. He left it up there real nice and soft, and that's a big play because Holland's got a chance to get the 3-point play and get this lead down to 12.
How tough is it, do you think, for Gannon to adjust to playing away from the Hammerville Center? Because they've enjoyed a lot of success there, and they had the Mid-East tournament and the regional there on a 4-4 now.
But they've done well on the road in other places. They played on the road. They came back from a big deficit at Clarion and did well.
Roderick Stubbs. We're going to take a look at this again as he converts.
They get the pass inside, so you see Gannon in the man-to-man, and they use a little pick there. Action. Snyder gets picked off and then comes back to try and help. And not really a big foul, but it's a body foul, and it's enough to get Stubbs on the line looking for the three-point play.
Snyder with 3 fouls. He takes a seat on the bench. Andy Adams checks in for Bob Duquette's Golden Knights. At the line, Roderick Stubbs, 6'6" sophomore from Jackson, Tennessee. He's a good foul shooter, the best on the team, at over 80%. Now Gannon down to Darryl Freeman. Freeman's going to drive out to Crawford. 3-point attempt. Good. Well, they've cut it in half, 24-12.
Crawford's got 9 of the 12, so they got to look for him. You know, the good basketball teams will go to the guy that's scoring, and Gannon's got to keep looking for Crawford.
It's the best start we've seen all year so far for Mike Crawford. As he's on fire, keeping the Knights in this thing. Got the shot by Stubbs, no good. Big rebound by Darryl Freeman. Now the fans starting to come to life here. Gannon faithful. This is almost like Erie East tonight. Holland's shot controlled there by Crawford. He takes it up and in. Mike Crawford, the team's best 3-point shooter. He's doing a heck of a job tonight. He's got 11. Now Morehouse tries to get some composure back after taking that big early lead. Tommy Madison in there, passing it over to Corey Bonds. And there's David Dutta.
Well, Gannon's got their confidence back right now, and Mike Crawford has given it to him. You can just see on the defensive end, they're playing like we've seen them play in the Eastern Regionals. They're really like Bob Duquette likes to stay scrapping and scrambling, and that's what they're doing right now.
Winfrey back in. Gannon fans wanted the ball, but they're going to give it back to Morehouse.
Well, the Gannon fans are all right behind the Gannon bench there. You can see some of them there just to the left. They're all up in that corner, and everybody jumped up on that call. We're not in any position to see what type of call it was.
A lot of substitutions, some new faces in there for Morehouse. Another play, and this one's going to go to Gannon as we had some confusion and players unable to get the handle off the inbounds pass. Gannon's going to take advantage this time, and then with 8:20 left here in the first half, they trail 24-14. Bob Duquette hoping to get this team back in it by halftime.
Look for Crawford. I'd look for Crawford. Why not? He's the guy that's doing the job for you. Get him the ball.
Darryl Freeman had limited success early on his offensive tries. Passes it over there to Callahan. 3-pointer. No good. Here's Crawford. Foul inside. Let's see who they call it on.
Crawford, he pushed off.
Mike Crawford with the foul. That's his first.
His first personal foul. And it's over the limit.
They're going to go to the line now for the 1-and-1. 14-5 run here.
Well, we said how important the one-on-ones are going to be, and Morehouse is going to be on the line for the rest of the half on any foul, and there's only been 2 team fouls called on Morehouse, so Gannon, it could go this whole first half without getting to the line in the one-on-one situation.
Ellis missing the first foul shot. Freeman with the board.
As good as a player Ellis is, he's got a terrible free throw shot. You know, I wouldn't mind seeing Ellis on the line late in the game in a close game if you're a Gannon fan.
That foul on James Walker.
That's
His first personal foul. Walker, the guy who Coach McAfee says is the person who glues everything together for the Tigers. Not a big scorer, but he really runs the team. Chris Holland now. Driving all the way in for the layup. And again, it trails by 8. Up quickly. It's Winfrey. Gannon almost took advantage there, but Morehouse is going to keep control. Holland with 5 points so far. Holland and Crawford, the only guys that have scored for the Knights. 5 for Holland, 11 for Crawford. And off the steal, here comes Freeman, loses the handle. Oh, he got mugged. Winfrey picks it up.
Freeman got mugged, bringing the ball up the floor.
Bob Duquette shouting instructions to his team. They apply the tough defense here. Still in the man-to-man. That's all we're going to see from Morehouse tonight, by the way. They just play strictly in man-to-man. Spinning shot there by Stubbs is good. 26-16 now. 10-point advantage. Stubbs with 9 points in the game.
I'm surprised Freeman hasn't done more. This is the type of game he thrives in. You know, he got somebody playing a man-to-man, and he gets the one-on-one opportunities. This is the type of game where he's really tough.
Chris Holland over to Mike Crawford on the other side. He shoots a three-pointer, makes it. He nails it. Mike Crawford on fire. He's got 14.
He's unconscious. Why not keep giving him the ball? Just come down and give it to him. Let him fire it up. Set some picks for him. Get him open and let him shoot it. As long as he's hot, go to him.
Inside to Stubbs. He loses the handle. Here comes Freeman behind the back. Controls the dribble. Well, that was unbelievable.
Well, he fell down. He had to go behind the back. He had no choice.
All right, no good there by Holland. We got the rebound by Dutta, David Dutta. Earlier winners today here in Springfield included Kentucky Wesleyan, an overtime winner over Southeast Missouri State, North Dakota, a winner over Jacksonville State, and Cal State Bakersfield over Bridgeport. It's been a big day of basketball here in Springfield. And there's the shot, good, by David Dutta. And the foul is going to be called on Chris Holland. Gannon fans don't like that one bit. Let's take another look, Brian.
Take a look at it. Remember, we talked about this during the regional. It's the toughest call to make for the official. What you got to look for is see if Holland's set. He's moving. He's set. Terrible call.
Boy, oh boy, Holland.
Oh, okay, I see. They called the charge, but they gave him the basket. See, and we talked about that, too. We decided we don't like that rule.
All right, Gannon gets it back.
The way I explained it last weekend, there's just too many things for the official to watch in that situation. How can you watch when the ball's being released, and how can you watch the position of the defensive player? How can you watch three things at one time?
Here comes Morehouse. We're going by the fan reaction, but obviously
the fans were upset because they gave him the bucket.
Here we go. Morehouse. Crawford now flips it up to Freeman. He's called for the travel.
Freeman ran a little bit with it before he put it on the floor. It's a tough call to make, but I think it might have been the correct call there.
David Dutta with the inbounds pass for Morehouse. Here they go with 5 minutes left in the first half. 28-19 lead for Morehouse College out of Atlanta. Air ball by Ellis. I think that was deflected.
If it was deflected, they didn't see it because Gannon's got the ball. You know, we watched that Ellis in the shoot-around, and the guy scores 24 points a game, but his jump shot just doesn't look real good. You talked to Coach McAfee, and he says that he explained to you that he gets a lot of shots on garbage-type shots.
That's right. There's the shooter's roll for Daryl Freeman. So if the Knights need a break, they got one there.
Yeah, maybe that'll get him going. Hopefully, for Gannon's sake, that little roll, and if Freeman can drain the free throw, that'll get him going.
First basket of the night for Daryl Freeman. He gets on the board. Here's another look.
Nice backdoor cut by Freeman. Great bounce pass. Deflected a little bit, but Freeman regains control. Goes up and shoots the jumper and doesn't get it to go. Gets it to go, and he'll be at the line shooting a free throw.
And we've got a timeout. 4 minutes, 44 seconds left first half. Gannon trailing by 6. We'll be back. Gannon has come back strong. They've outscored Morehouse 22-9 in the last 8 minutes. And now it's a 6-point game. Been a big day for basketball. This is the final game of the 4 played here at the Springfield Civic Center. The winner tonight advancing to the semifinals tomorrow night. The championship game slated for Monday night here in Springfield. Here's Walker passing over to Winfrey. His shot is good. 30-22. Adams tried for the jam, but he's fouled. Andy Adams.
It's the best way to go to the bucket. Go in there strong. Go up for the dunk. Let's watch Adams again. This is the way to do it. Freeman pushing the ball up after the made basket with the side break. Adams goes strong to the backboard. That's the way to do it. You're going to get fouled most of the time.
So here's Andy Adams. Spoke with him last night. He's really the heart and soul of this team. Great contender. He runs the court well. From the foul line, he's about a 63% shooter. Ends the first shot.
Let's watch G. Blanks on the ensuing offensive possession here by Morehouse. Blanks just came into the game about a minute ago, and he usually does something big defensively when he comes into the game.
Second one off the mark, controlled by Stuart Watkins. Here come the Tigers. Winners of the South Atlantic region. Walker's pass kicked by Darryl Freeman. They'll get the ball back. Darryl Freeman, an interesting story, Brian. He did an interview last week after the Gannon win. This week in Springfield, didn't want to talk to the TV people once again. He was getting quiet, a little superstitious on that.
Yeah, if you can see real close, he's got some Band-Aids he wears on his hands, too, for all those superstitious reasons.
Richard Winfrey made the shot there for the Tigers.
His left hand, he's got 2 fingers taped up for no real apparent reason other than he feels he needs to do that to have a good game.
Here's Freeman. Shot is good. Well, those Band-Aids must be helping out. He's getting back on the scoreboard. There's a turnover, and Gannon's going to get the ball back. They can cut it to 5 or 4 with a three-pointer here. 3 minutes, 43 seconds left, first half. Coming to you live from Springfield, Massachusetts on TV 24. This is the quarterfinal game, NCAA National Tournament for Division II. Here's Darryl Freeman. Mike Crawford spinning. Thinking about it, takes the shot. Boy, is he on fire.
Yeah, Crawford's really carried them in the first half. Freeman's coming on a little bit here late in the half, but Crawford's really carried him through this first half.
Ellis with the layup. Great move by Harold Ellis. Quite an athlete, especially for a sophomore. Leading scorer on the team, leading rebounder. Scored 40 points in the game earlier this season. Down to 3 minutes now in the half.
Morehouse really pushing Gannon's offense out. Gannon's offense is real spread at this point with this man-to-man defense that Morehouse really overplaying.
And they're going to give the ball to Morehouse on the turnover there.
And moving pick, Andy Adams took a couple steps and got the pick, and they're going to shoot the 1-1.
17 fouls on the night, 6 Morehouse, both in the bonus now. Here's Duquette. And we're going to take a look at this block.
Let's see if Adams moves at all. Technically, if you move at all, it's a moving screen. Let's see if he gets set. Oh, boy.
It's hard to see it there. First shot by Winfrey is good. Winfrey from the line at 63% foul shooter. Substitutions. Coming off is Dada. Coming in to the lineup. Got Michael Dones.